Hello and welcome back to My Mom's Basement, ladies and gentlemen. I am here with Martin Johnson of Boys Like Girls, coming off a huge tour. You were just on tour for 6, 7 weeks, I think, with Dashboard Confessional and Taylor Acorn. How was that?
So good, dude. So
Yeah,
good. I mean, like, classic like gratitude answer. Like, I guess anytime you get to like be 39 and like hum melodies you wrote when you were 17 for a living and that pays for your kids' food, like what? And you travel, with your best friends from high school. It's fucking
yeah,
great. You know what I mean? It epic. I grew up like, 2003 Dashboard, Confessional, MTV Unplugged. You feel me? Like
yeah.
that was my DVD. I like ripped off his open tuning thing, and he's like, he strummed the guitar and it just plays open, and I was like, how did he do that? And I like kind of relearned how to play guitar that way. So being able to make a song together was really really amazing, and the tour was super great. It's really really fun to perform Watch the Fire, the new song we did with Chris and Dashboard every night. And dude, I just love to play. I love to play. I know the boys do too. Like a lot of bands and a lot of artists don't love to tour. The only thing that sucks about it is like missing your family. And I
Yeah.
had my wife and kid out for a while, which was great and a blessing. And the times where they're at home, it's kind of hard, but like you're a superhero, man. You get to be a superhero. You get to put on the leather pants and go take a goddamn strut. What's better than that? You get these endorphins, you feel great. Like my day's ultra structured. I don't know. For me, it's the best. I came of age. Like I didn't go to college. Like I got into a 15 pass van. So I
Yeah.
want to play. That's what I want to do. I want to play. That's just what I want to do. I've tried doing other shit. I've tried being a suit, tried being, in a windowless room, making music for other people. I've tried it, dude. I've tried investing in real estate. I want to rock. It's just what I want to do. I want to play. So, you know, tour was great. Dashboard's awesome. Crew's great. Taylor was awesome. She came up and sang Tuesday by the One every night with us, which was awesome. Her camp's super cool and fun. And I get depressed. I get seasonal depression when I'm home. So anytime I get the opportunity to call, you want to tour this autumn? Light it up, dude. Let's go. Time to go.
Speaking of Watch the Fire, where did that come from musically? Because it's a really cool song, great production, has a nice like orchestral backing. Where did
Thanks,
that one come
man.
from?
Thank you. Dude, every time I walk into the studio, I think the fraud police are going to come in and take my synths. So I'm faking it every single time. And I remember like messing around, like I was like up. So I'm in Utah now, but I lucky enough to have a place in Nashville as well. And that's the studio is disconnected. It's like in this barn, right? Like it was like a converted barn. So I'm up in the house on acoustic, super nervous. Chris is coming over. It's like, okay, I'm gonna write a song with Mr. Confessional. Like, here we go. This is intimidating. And so like I start playing this like riff, and I'm like, fuck, this kind of sounds like him in 2002. He's gonna hear this little like guitar part and be like, okay, bro, like been there. Like I was there 22 years ago, Chief Sport. Like, let's do this instead. So I had this little lick and a melody and whatever, and I played him a couple things. And it was like we just kind of like he started singing something like a lyric over this thing, and didn't say that. Um, so I think like you go in every time I go in. I won't speak for anybody else, but I go in every time being like, if they're gonna find out I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. You know what I mean? But you go in and it's like, okay, here's this acoustic guitar part. And then it's like, okay, this would be cool with a breakbeat, I guess. Like, should we do some 90s like breakbeat thing? Sounds like sort of like 90s radio, meets like sort of cred, like Massive Attack, whatever. So we have like this breakbeat in. It kind of ended up being a little bit more like early 2000s organic, by the time all was said and done. We started like programming some strings in, and doing this stuff, and you just get psyched in the room. I run over to the synths and I'm sort of like playing strings on the synths, and yeah, all of a sudden there's a song in the machine, and I was like, fooled him again. I fooled him again, dude. I got him one more time. You know what I mean? But yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't, like you say, like, where does things come from? I don't know. I've done it before that. I've gone on Spotify and I've pulled up a song and I'm like, let's rip that off today. Today, we're going to rip this off and we're going to change just enough that we don't get sued. Watch the Fire wasn't that. It was sort of like a little bit more of like okay, this feels kind of good. I hope Chris likes it. Maybe I'm nervous. You know what I mean? And then you just write a song because that's just what you do.
Yeah.
And you've done since you were a kid. You know what I mean? I wrote my first song when I was like 6. So it's like, you're just like, okay, I guess we're writing a song. Shit. Like, here we are, so.
It's a great song. I really dig it.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that so much, man. We had a lot of fun doing it. And yeah, when I got out of the dream sequence and like played it back the next day, I was like, oh, okay, I know what to do. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun.
And which cities went the hardest on tour? Do you have any favorite memories?
Yeah, let me think. My favorite shows of this tour were definitely not going to say that. I think Chicago was really good. I think so. But we left Minnesota right after the show. And we played Minneapolis and we go to the airport hotel, and like 3:30 in the morning, my alarm goes off and we get on a flight at 6 and we flew to LAX. We got in like, a Sprinter van or whatever, those things. And we drove to Bakersfield. And that night, which was the next night from Minneapolis, with no sleep, we play. I don't know about you, but like when I got an early flight, like there's no chance, right? Like I'm like, I missed my flight. It's like if I fall asleep, I like pin up straight. Like my alarm's going off for sure. So Bakersfield, we played the Kern County Fair. And then we drove back at like 2 a.m. after we did like the headline gig, like a 110-minute show, to LAX airport hotel, 3:30 wake up. Once again, nada. Chicago was the next show. And so like, I think Chicago was good, but I don't entirely remember.
Delirious,
my voice was pretty shot and I was kind of like screaming it hard, which kind of like probably sounded cool to them, but hurt to me. I was like stoked that there was a couple super memorable ones. Like there's this venue in New York City called Pier 17 that I know like a lot of people are really like, no. Yeah. To me, it was like, I'd never played it before. And you're like floating on the Hudson. And so if you're not from New York or Jersey or Connecticut or whatever, like this venue's like kind of worth a flight, I thought. Like there's these pictures of me playing us, and like, it's like the Empire State Building's behind me, you know what I mean? And I'm looking out, right? Like we're playing at sunset and it's like, you just see the statue, the Statue of Liberty is just chilling, right? Like chilling with the sunset doing, and I'm like, I cannot believe this is my job. Like, this is my job just still, right? Like there's still moments that are just like, I get to play these songs with my boys, and like I'm looking at the statue, like I'm like floating in the Hudson, like this is the coolest. That crowd was okay. They were good, maybe a little bit. Like I feel like those tickets are expensive, so maybe those people are a little older. I know that if I'm going to a show, dude, sparkling beverage, hanging out in the back, arms closed, judging. And if I love it, they get a head nod, dude. So like, maybe some of the like more spendier cost of living places was like a little bit more like that on this tour. Especially maybe Dashboard, the Dashboard blend, some of the seated places Dashboard's like 01, we're like 06, right? So like, if you grew up listening to Boys Like Girls. It's a high possibility that you were 10 and watching it on Fuse and like just never went to a show. And now you get to go to a show and sort of relive being 11 and like learning Great Escape on the guitar or something like that. So like a little more of like a hype train. So the East Coast shows were like maybe a little bit more subdued, but good. I feel like I feel like Seattle was pretty great. I feel like we got added to When We Were Young festival.
I saw that short notice,
Super
right? Like
late.
on a couple days notice.
Yeah, band dropped off, and we were gonna be in Vegas anyway. We're doing like a sideshow, like a Warped Tour. Kevin Lineman. It's like a big like a charity thing, which was super great. We were like, all right, cool, yeah, we're gonna be in Vegas anyway. Like bus parked. Like I don't gamble. I gamble a little bit. I gamble a little bit.
Responsibly.
I gamble on football and I play a couple. I'll go in, put a little on blackjack. I don't play poker anymore. Used to play a lot of it. Yeah, dude, like we were so stuck like this, we got at it and it was like, yeah, well, let's rip. Like we'll
like
play.
A family reunion for you guys, I imagine, seeing so
Dude,
many bands that you toured with.
Play for food money, dude. You cover a hotel and like our crew, like so we get handed the guitars that are in tune and like the PA turns on, like we'll play.
Yeah.
We'll play. It was sick. I mean, it was like we were really, obviously we weren't the shows were sold out. We weren't like a big part of it. Anybody buying that ticket. And it was jammed. You know what I mean? So like it was cool to see that, and we're on When We again, next year. So excited to go back and fry my internal organs in the desert again. I just I don't know how people live there in Vegas.
Yeah, I have to go there all the time. I cover like UFC
How do you do it,
and fighting for Barstool, and
cool.
It is not my favorite. I really don't like going out to Vegas. The heat is hard to put up with.
Drummer, Boys Like Girls drummer Beef is a black belt in Brazilian.
I know. Doesn't he own his own gym?
Yeah, he's like he's in the descent of the Renzo Gracie, and it's cool. It's been cool to watch his just transformation as a human with like going from like white, in 20, like fast tracked it. Like he really, really made it a huge priority in his life during the time we took off. Like I know like 2011, like he was like, maybe it was 2010. He was like doing like a white belt competition, right? Like kind of like won this white belt competition, like on Gusto. And like, he got his black, like, I don't know, 18 months ago, maybe 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's cool. Yeah. He's got a piece of a gym in Nashville and it's epic to see. It's epic to see. His brother used to train boxers. Maybe still does.
I see. Yeah.
So there's like a fighting thing in
combat sports in the family.
Yeah, so they go to Vegas. They go to Vegas. They're probably same shit you go see. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, and you cover and whatever. Dude, I can't do it. I can't. I got 24 hours. I'll eat at Nobu at Caesars and like I'm like, what I'm saying? Get me the fuck out of here. I get the fuck out of here. Like I'm just like I dry up like a fish.
Same.
I'm Swedish, dude, and I'm like supposed to be at altitude, and I grew up in Maine, and like I'm like it's supposed to be in the cold, and I like put me in I want to do some scarf work, bro. Like no, I like Albuquerque. I don't really like Phoenix. So fucking hot.
Yeah, I can't do the heat. I got
Irish. Good show in Phoenix.
Burns me real quick. It's crazy. As far as bands that you guys have met and toured with over the years, who do you think is the funniest artist? It could be one person or a band.
303
who makes you laugh the most. 303.
Love touring with 303.
Yeah,
we got to do. Yeah, we didn't really tour them back in the day. I had like become homies with them in LA, and I got to write with Sean. We were like writing like when I was like more writing for other people, and we were just writing to write because I was like really like respected what he did, and we ended up writing a song called "The Outside" that sat on the hard drive from like 2014 until we put out Sunday at Foxwoods, and we put it on there. 8 years later. But yeah, we did this speaking our language tour like 11, 12 months ago, and asked the boys to do it. And I know like they were like fresh, hot, being new dads. You know what I mean? They're like, we can do a bit of it. Like if we can fly in and fly out and kind of make it like pretty easy, and maybe your sound guy can help, like we'll do it for sure. And I mean, number one, they get the crowd. I've never seen really anything like it. Like they get the crowd like hype. And just dude, I like hanging out with those guys. It's just it's epic. Like I rode like I don't know any other dude in a band that rode his bicycle across the US other than Sean. Sean rode his bike across. Again, I didn't even find that out until we were like on the speaking our language tour. I was like, dude, wait, you're telling me that you rode it? He's like, yeah, dude. Yeah. Colorado to the East Coast or whatever. Like, I don't think he did the whole thing, but he was close.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, they get the crowd hyped and they make me laugh. They make me laugh, dude. It's good. It's fun. I if we could have just permanently tour with 303, I would for sure.
And then of all of the artists that you've met, I assume you've met a lot of your idols through touring and stuff over the years. Who made you starstruck? Like who made you the most starstruck?
You know, I don't want to meet Tom Brady.
Are you huge Patriots fan?
Bro, we're from Boston.
Yeah.
I have a fucking 12 tattoo on my pinky.
No, do you really?
Yeah, I was going to the Super Bowl in 14 and like I was like, I gotta get it. I got it. I was like messing around LA on the strip. I was like, I gotta get it's like going in a tattoo shop with some friends. I'm like, I'm not like a pick it and stick it guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like a tattoo. I was like, I'll just get 12. You know what I mean? Now I have an unofficial Buccaneers tattoo, like fuck. And the reason why I don't want to meet Tom Brady or James Taylor or Paul Simon or Bob Dylan is because like they're human, man.
Yeah.
You meet these dudes like doing Barstool, like you go, like you interview them or you see them in person, they're shorter than you and they've got like, they don't glow. You know what I mean? You don't glow the same.
They're not larger than life anymore.
Yeah. I'm super grateful to have worked with some of my idols, man. Like I remember Feldman calls me in to work on The Used in like 2012. And I was like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Cause like,
yeah,
holy shit. The Used? You know what I mean? Like that record was like, oh, dude. You know what I'm saying? I was 17 on our first tour. We're in the van all the way up screaming it. So I can't even sing the show that night. And it's like, or like doing Blank or whatever. Or, I think like you get that like your heart's pounding at the beginning and then you kind of meet in the middle as humans and it's like, okay, I don't want Tom to be no human. You know what I'm saying? No. Like I want, like he got
superhero.
Got the eye black on. He's got I just want, if I met him, I would want him to immediately be in like the circa, the circa 2007 Super Bowl, you know what I mean? Like, form of the unis, not no color rush, like pads on, eye black on, or like the 2010, like long haired, pissed off Brady.
Oh, yeah.
That would work for me. But like, I don't want to meet like, I don't know, man. I think, it's human, human beings, like at the end of the day, like I was pretty nervous. John Mayer took my side project The Night came out early. Yeah. Like I released a song. Nobody knew that it was my project. Nobody knew it was like, I was the guy from Boys Like Girls or whatever. Put a song out, like no label, like to the Spotify or whatever. No photo, no Wikipedia. Mayer's a dog. You know what I mean? He's like, I fuck with this on New Music Friday. Who's this kid? I take it on tour. Sick. You know what I mean? Like the one dude is like not taking backdoor payola to take somebody out. You know what I mean? Or like a management favor. And so I show up day one and I'm like, we, two buses in a truck with Boys Like Girls. And I'm just like Sprinter van driving. No TM, you know what I mean? No guitar tech, rolling my shit out. And we're in Albuquerque and like Mayer walks out on stage during our sound check. You know what I mean? With Pino Palladino next to him, like a
Yeah.
legendary bass player, and Steve Jordan's there too. And like, they're just like, the trio, and they're
Yeah.
just like side stage, just like, and I'm like, oh, dude, like we better, is the PA on?
We better be
We better,
tight. Yeah.
yeah, dude, I'm like, yeah. So that was I was starstruck at that moment. I grew up listening there. So that was like, I was like, but it was like, it's ego meets.
Of
That's
course.
also like, I want him to think
It's
I'm cool
human.
so
Like,
bad. Like I want him to think I'm good. Like
yeah.
he already thinks I'm good, or I wouldn't be on. He would have taken me on
Yeah.
tour. You
But
know what
your
I mean?
mind
But
will
I'm
play
like,
tricks
fuck,
with you in that
he's gonna
moment.
think I'm
Yeah.
so bad. He's gonna think I suck. Dude. He's gonna kick me off the tour. Pino's gonna be like, dude, it's not good enough. And we won't even play tonight in Albuquerque. So. Yeah, but it's there's a human thing that I still have it in some capacity for athletes, where there's like still a halo around athletes. Musicians, maybe I've met the Wizard of Oz too many times, and it's just small, and it's the curtain and the megaphone, and it's like you walk the brick road, you get there, and I've been the wizard.
Yeah.
So
You've seen it.
yeah.
What do you think is the most Spinal Tap moment you've had on tour?
I had an interview that I was like talking about this earlier because I thought it was funny. Okay, so it was, we were talking about 80s hair bands, and I was like, this is a hair band moment. There's a million Spinal Tap moments with us because we're just like, we're like, we kind of like smoking cigs on stage and strutting around and the whole thing. It's like, it's pretty Spinal
Chair and
Tap.
cigs, yeah, all of it.
Yeah, it's like fun.
Rock and roll.
You know what I mean? Yeah, we've known each other 20 years. It's just like, let's have some fun. We're gonna do this when we're on tour. Let's stuff. And let's also just not lie. Let's just go and let's just like be. Yeah, you put on the jacket, you become a superhero, but like, let's not like do. Fuck it, right? Like, let's just like. Let's take the dog for a walk. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm out on this most recent tour, and Beef has got this like reflective drum head, and the reflective drum head has our new logo, the Circle BLG logo and stuff. But like, it's like a piece of Reynolds wrap, right? Which is cool because it's like the lights reflect off it and shit. He's got this Vista Light kit that is see through, so like the lights go through it, but the lights kind of reflect off the kick drum cover head. And so I go over to have my water or vocal spray, or like take, like drum tech comes out, hands me a lit cigarette, whatever the fuck we're doing. And I'm like resting my voice for a second because it's these fucking songs that I wrote when I was 18 and can barely sing. And I'm like walking over there, and Greg comes up to me and he gives me this duck face, right? And he's like, and he goes right up to the drum head. And he just starts primping his hair in the drum head, dude, like 4,000 people watching the show. You know what I mean? And he's just in the mirror, right? In the mirror. And he looks at me like, and then he gets right back in there. And then he turns around to the crowd and he's like, and it's like Steel Panther. I could barely play the next song. I was laughing. So he started. He was fucking with me every night trying to do it. It's good, but we're pretty, we go Spinal Tap on him for sure.
Yeah. Are you guys like messing with each other in a talkback mic or anything on stage?
I have a talkback. The other guys don't. So I have a button on I have like a pedal board that'll control like my different guitar sounds, but it'll also control like, we like in our in-ear monitors, we'll have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. So like the video will go off at the right time, or like if there's something that's happening in the machine that's playing that was like created in the computer that's going to play along with us at the same time as we're playing, like it'll go off at the right time or whatever. I also have this button that'll turn my microphone. It'll toggle my microphone off and go really hot in everybody's ears. So if something's fucking terrible happening, I'll use it.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? I can't hear anything. You know what I mean? And they have our guitar tech, Chris, who plays aux guitar when I, wanted to strut and hang out at the mic stand. He also does our guitar tech. He has a mic over there too, and we're yelling at each other for sure. There's some bonehead talk.
Yeah.
back and forth. Usually before the show, though, we're like when we're on stage, we take it pretty seriously, not in a bad way, not in like a take yourself too seriously thing, but I just think like I think it's really like I'm not really a tour prank guy. You know, like the last
Yeah.
day of tour, whenever he fucks around,
Yeah.
shaving cream all over the place or something. I just think like that's that you might ruin that somebody's favorite song. Like it might be
Yeah.
somebody's favorite song. And like, what a bummer if they spent $46 plus fees and like what was like your 45th time that autumn playing the song was there. They've been waiting 15 years to hear it. Like, I don't know. I think like respecting the people who came there to see you is super important. And, you know, orchestrating a really, really great show that you're super proud of is important. It's important to me. And I think, you know, dress to respect them, sing to respect them, you know, like I take really good care of my body when I'm out there because I really want to respect the people who bought the ticket and came and grew up listening maybe to our band, or maybe they're just discovering us for the first time. So I think when it's time to go out there, we're pretty eagle eye on it. We get into character and we try to put the best show on we possibly can, even if we feel like shit or we're feeling like just like messing around.
I love that. I feel like the fans have like taken note of that and appreciate that, especially I'm on all the,
so.
pop punk forums and the Reddit boards and stuff.
Cool.
And you guys are constantly getting praise for your live performance in particular. Like recently.
So I don't do the Reddit. How are we doing on the Reddit? Are we okay on the Reddit?
Very good, actually. Very good. Yeah. Like
Reddit
reviews from when we were young.
Reddit scares me, dude. Okay.
Yeah,
so
it scares us.
People like that.
Definitely.
Scares me on there.
It's bad. I mean, it's bad for everyone, though. You know, it's like the fact that you guys constantly get positive praise speaks to how great your live show really is because everyone catches it.
The second you have a bad show, though, or a bad day, and you're a dick once to somebody who waited 45 minutes at the stage door and you just like haven't showered and you're grumpy and have pneumonia and you walk out and you're like, take the picture, you know what I mean? And then like eternalized as being a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
I have this thing where I desperately want everybody to like me. And I don't know if that's ever possible. It's
probably not, but I'm with you. I think a lot of us have that.
Well, it's also like, it's funny because it's like, I have both, right? So I have like, you walk into a room and you're like, fuck this place. I'm better than these fucking people.
Yeah.
But also I really, really want them all to like me super bad. So you're just stuck right in between like, oh, I really hope these people like me. Fucking hate it here. I just want to leave. I'm better than all these fucking people.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but it's maybe somebody else has that. Maybe it's just, you know.
No, I've got a little bit of that.
You got
I'm definitely with you a little bit. Yeah.
Like I said. Yeah.
I'd love to talk about songwriting for a bit because as you mentioned, you know, you've done so much. Your credits are so eclectic, especially. Do you find it easier to write for some genres than others? Like you've got rock credits, metal credits, hip hop, country. Is there an easier genre to write in than another, or is it all about mindset?
I really wish that I was better at having a lane. Like, I think people who have branded themselves really specifically are more successful. And I think because I get bored and then want to prove that I can do this other thing over here, it's actually in some capacity probably limited at least the financial return of being a professional songwriter for other people. What does he do? Because if you want the rock guy, I don't know that I'm really the rock guy because I'm also the pop guy, the fucking emo guy. You know,
a lot of country,
it's confusing.
Like a decent amount of country, at least, right?
I haven't gone to my Wikipedia in like 5 years, but I'm sure it's really confusing. You know what I mean? Like it's really
so many credits. Yeah.
You know, and the country guy. Like, I mean, I moved to Nashville and it's like, you know, you just kind of have to I fell in love. You know what I mean? I sold the house in LA like immediately. And I was like, I'm out of here. gone. Like, let's just get fuck out of here. Life's too short. And I went to Nashville. I was like, okay, I write country music now, which I dabbled in. I dabbled in a bit, you know what I mean? And I love country music. And, you know, some girl I was dating in 2004 gave me like a mixtape with like, you know, a bunch of Rascal Flats on it and stuff like that. And like, I grew up in Boston. So like, you don't really listen to country there. But my family's all from, you know, use like Perry, Georgia, which is country. And, you know, I thought Rascal Flatts was like a girl, like a female solo artist, like epic voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And dude, like, so I mean, it influenced in some capacity that mixtape like influenced melodies on the first Boys Like Girls record, but I didn't know I could write country music. So like, fuck it, I write country music now. You know what I mean? Like, that's just what I do now.
So it is that easy that you snap into it and you just kind of like.
I grew up doing musical theater, man. So I think I grew up doing musical theater and I grew up listening to like a widely eclectic range of things. I was in like a ska band, you know what I mean? And then I started going to absolutepunk.net and I started seeing these bands that were like jumping up and down and didn't have horns in it. And I was like, those bands are cooler than my band. And then a local band like that was big on mp3.com in 2003, their singer quit. And so like I was like, all right, fuck it. I don't play ska music or do theater anymore. I'm doing this shit. And, you know, I just, the first Boys Like Girls record was sort of like theater melodies and like 90s kind of like big arcing melodies in major, but just like with the chug chugs that I had heard on like the Starting Line record. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like, I didn't really know. I was 18, dude. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, Midtown does this thing where they do this digga-dow. So let's do this thing that goes digga-dow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's figure it out. So I think the same thing happens with doing stuff in different genres. I know that when, you know, like doing like the metal stuff, I was a little like help. And then I got in there and it's like, cool. Let's just write. Cause I don't know if I'm I don't know if I'm great at writing songs in minor.
Did you grow up on metal at all or no?
I listened to WAAF Boston, which was the rock station, right? Like, which was like
some
the
Metallica
rock
in there and stuff.
Yeah, but sort of not. You know, like I liked songs in major. Like I was listening to like, you know, my super formative record buying years when I was like, I buy albums now. Like I can afford to buy a tape. Was like, okay, so it's like I was born in 85. I'm 39. So like, let's say I was not 9 years old, 94-ish, Hootie and the Blowfish, Ace of Base.
Crack Review.
Exactly. The early Nirvana records, maybe like I was listening to some of the hardest, but it's got like the hardest I would go is maybe Offspring or like, you know, jukebox music, like the stuff that your parent, like if it had the parental advisory sticker on it, but like something that felt like forbidden fruit or like hard was like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magic, just because it said sex on the cover. That felt tough to me. I don't know. Like my parents were older. They had me, at 40. And so my dad went to Woodstock. So I grew up on like folk.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, metal was a little less accessible to me. Like, you know, other friends had like younger parents that like, obviously like for me, my access point for Metallica was like the Load Reload, which is like, I guess it's a couple bangers, you know, in the mix on that. Dude, what is the song? What is the song I can't get enough of? Obviously, it might be off of Reload. So maybe arguably the best Metallica song. Oh, dude, please don't. I've lost my cool factor on Reddit with this shit, dude.
No, I don't know if the Reddit kids even have ever heard of Load Reload.
There's one. It's not memory, dude. It's like there's one that I like jacks me. I don't know. I don't fucking know. It's fuel. It's fuel. It's fuel. Um, I always get the lyrics wrong though. Like if I'm going skiing,
Oh
I will
yeah.
I'll put fuel on. But like that's not cred. Like Black Album's cred or like, like
Yeah.
earlier. You know what I mean? Like I mean, it's tight. Like I'm super into it. But it wasn't like a musical access point for me at all. Like Pantera or whatever. Like when I was really little, like my cousin Philip, it was more, is street punk for me, weirdly. So I'll pivot into that. My first show ever was the Dropkick Murphys. My cousin was in a street punk band called the Anti-Heroes from Atlanta, the Boston Bruisers, and like there was like is it the Ratskeller in Boston? I was like
Real
9,
punk.
starter jacket.
Oh, 9 years old. Holy shit.
Oh, dude, like piss overflowing in the urinals, like Liberty Spike. It's 94. Like so, street punk was alive and well. Brass Knucks, like the whole thing. And I remember being a little older than that, like maybe 6th grade, and it was like Agnostic Front and The Unseen, and like bands like that, like First Generation Casualties. I remember like it was more in late middle school, like 8th grade. I didn't really like street punk, but I wanted you to think that I liked street punk.
Yeah.
So I didn't really listen to it. Well, my cousin was in a cool street punk band. So it was like, I thought my cousin was cool. So like, this must be cool, even though it's fucking unlistenable. So I'm going to like, so I'm like going to put like these, you remember like back patches and like knee patches and stuff.
Yeah.
So I would like have my brown Dickies with like a charged GBH, like knee patch. Like I probably listened to charged GBH at like grand total of 20 minutes in my life, but that was anyway. Arguably that was like a little bit more in my face than metal. For sure was like street punk, and then it was like theater.
And then generally, like the songs that you've written for other people, would you say there's more of them that you wrote with that person in mind, or with that person like in the room, or is it
probably more with them
that doesn't sound like, or like, do you ever write a song for Boys Like Girls or one of your side projects where you just go, oh, this doesn't fit the vibe of the band?
Yeah, and the other way around. So like you'll write a song and be like, oh, this is for this other person. Like Blood and Sugar I wrote with and for the band Camino.
Oh, really?
There's a version with them singing in it on my phone right now.
Yeah,
like with Spencer, just in the room, and Jeff came over that night and like cut a vocal and like whatever, and it was like, we were gonna maybe do this like Boys and Girls and the band Camino. That didn't work out. So it's like song's a Boys and Girls song, so I'm gonna put it out. Put it out. So like those things happen. I know, like Sean and I didn't write the Outside from 303. I talked about it earlier in our interview. Like for Boys Like Girls, but it was like kind of sat on my hard drive being Boys Like Girls. Like there's a song that I wrote with Dan Leas from Augustana on the new Foxwoods record called Cry, that got like we wrote it just to write, right? I was a huge Augustana fan, and we had played some like college shows together, Boys and Girls in Augustana, but we'd never written. We respected each other. We'd never written, and it was like, let's write, dude. And we wrote the song called Cry, and like the next day it got put on hold by like, imagine the biggest artist in the world puts it on hold, and you're like, oh fuck, okay, this is awesome, but I wish maybe I could sing it. 2 years later that artist changes directions, the song gets taken off hold, and it was like, all right, well, this will sit on my hard drive now for the next 10 years until we put out a Boys Like Girls record, which is what it did. And now
that's interesting how that works. I feel like a lot of people don't know that side of the music business.
Yeah. I think like there's a song I wrote with this artist, El King.
Yeah.
and it's called "Drunk and I Don't Want to Go Home." We put it's kind of a big song a couple years ago in the country world that crossed a little bit to pop. It's like sort of a summer drunk girl anthem. We put Miranda Lambert on it, and it ended up being really fun. Flew to New York, cut Miranda. I'm a huge fan of Elle. I mean, we wrote it in like 2014. You know what I mean? So long ago.
That's crazy.
So long ago. And it just sat in the heart of it. And like, I don't know if it was like, it wasn't right for her first record. The one with X's and O's. It could come out, "Hey, I'm drunk." Maybe somebody said like, maybe this is a little hot and
for
out
the
of
brand.
context. Yeah. Or she felt that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, I think songs and they find their time and they find their artist, there are songs that like you write just to write that you send to 7 artists and one of them likes it. And maybe nobody likes it. And maybe it was written like 5 years ahead of its time. It doesn't mean it's bad. It's just like, because you're also like, you're trying to thread the needle into somebody's brand. And if it doesn't necessarily fit who they are emotionally, spiritually, musically, whatever, what they're going through on their record, like can be a crapshoot.
Yeah.
It can be a crapshoot, but I know that like, I have put out this song called Companion as a night game song that I wrote alone and whatever. And I sent it to Elle like just over text. And I literally was kind of like, maybe she should sing on this, but I didn't know. And I was like, "What do you think about this song?" She's like, "I'm freaking the fuck out. Like, I love this song." And I was like, "You want to sing on it?" She's like, "I haven't seen you in a really long time. You want to?" So we did this song, "America's Sweetheart," for her first record.
Mm-hmm.
And it had been like 8 years. She's like, "Yeah, I'm in Nashville." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm in Nashville. You want to come over?" And so she just comes over. Like I pick her up at the hotel and I bring her over to the house. She sings her parts. And I'm like, "You remember that song, Drunk and I Don't Want to Go Home? Like, we should fuck with that." And she's like, "I agree." You know what I mean? And like, then it's like, then, smash cut a year later, Miranda's on it. And it's like on the country chart and like you're doing your thing. And it's like, so this is a song that was like forgotten on a hard drive in 2014. So, but it was also a song that was like gonna be Avicii featuring El King, rest in peace, before he passed.
Wow.
And it's like these things have these like, you know what I mean? Like it's not supposed to happen until it happens. I mean, there's a song I wrote like with a couple guys at this like writing retreat in France as like you're just writing, right? It's called Heartbreak Heard Around the World. And there was like 4 different artists that put it on hold. 4.
Wow.
One artist, like one really big artist, put it on hold, went to jail, changed his direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A boy band that like came back, put it on hold, wasn't sure about it. And then it was like, dude, like it, ended up being like this, this younger kid named Jacob Lattimore. And then we put T-Pain on it. It was like, this could have been 7 different things.
Yeah.
Lucky that it was what it was. Ended up being amazing. I got to work with T-Pain. It's just like anybody who was born in 85 fucking loves T-Pain. And I remember the I Am T-Pain app that you could like auto-tune your shit on like
on
your
an early like on when you got
early
the first
app,
iTouch
beta shit like 2011, right? Like blah, 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 you know what I mean? Like so I mean it's the music industry. If I think there would be a lot more of the thing that I'm talking about where miracles happen, like Drunk and I Don't Want to Go Home or Cry or whatever, if there were less non-creatives making creative decisions, because I think non-creatives that make creative decisions are really afraid of anything that wasn't created like 45 minutes ago. Because if it wasn't created 45 minutes ago, surely it isn't good enough, and surely it isn't cool enough, and surely it isn't following whatever fucking TikTok trend is happening right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I've just got one final question for you. I really appreciate the time.
Oh, dude, I'm ripping, dude. My daughter's sleeping and she's having a long nap, so we fire away.
I'm a huge Oasis fan, and Noel Gallagher once said that he summed up everything he's ever wanted to say with three songs, with
Yeah.
Cigarettes and Alcohol, Live Forever, and Rock and Roll Star. If you had to
Whoa.
select three songs that you've written that sum up everything you've ever wanted to say, which three would you select?
Epic quote. Epic band. Do you have tickets?
I do, yeah.
Which date?
So I got tickets. I
No,
was
Rose Bowl?
lucky, and I just got super lucky and got tickets to the very first comeback show in Cardiff. So 4th of July, I'm flying my ass over there.
You're going to the first one, dude?
Yeah, I wanted to be at the
Okay,
first
so
one.
if they
I'm such a
break
crazy
up,
fan.
if
Yeah,
they
exactly.
break up like night one, like fuck you, mate. Like
Like I
you
was
went,
there, I
you
did
saw it. You
Yeah.
saw the tambourine fly across stage, dude.
Exactly. And if it
I
happens,
think-
that's fine. You know, it is what it is. I got the full experience.
I think one or two shows are going to be canceled, but I think they're going to go the distance.
hope
Maybe they
so.
don't make it to South America, but I think they go the distance. At
I
least
hope
they're going to
so.
do.
I got tickets for that, and then I'm going in MetLife. I'm a Jersey kid, so I got tickets for MetLife Stadium too.
Sorry, dude. I'm sorry. That's a tough upbringing for you. Are you a Giants fan?
No, weirdly,
Jets?
my grandfather was a Giants fan, had three Irish sons who just wanted to fight every weekend.
Right.
So they all picked different teams, and I wound up with Washington, which wasn't fun until this year. It was bad. It's been a bad existence as a
Do you still
football
call them
fan.
Redskins? My wife's
No.
Cherokee. I'm allowed to say that.
No, I don't.
Not
I
really.
call them Commanders. I don't.
You
I
still
don't
call
care.
them Commanders? You don't care.
Yeah,
A lot of people care.
I know. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't care because especially because they've never been good. I'm like, yeah, maybe we needed
Yeah,
to
they
shake
suck.
some things up.
Dude, it's exciting. I think the NFL will be better with the Commanders in it. And in the conversation, because that division was so annoying for so long
Yeah,
with them sucking.
yeah.
I thought you were a Giants fan. I was there in 08, dude. I was there.
Oh, were you?
The perfect season over. Grown men crying. Terror.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to answer your question. I'm just thinking about it while I delay and talk about football. This is a fucking Barstool Sports, dude. Let's talk a little bit of sports. You know what I'm saying?
I usually don't do sports on this podcast.
You're
When I
wearing
had
the
Simple
hat. Let's
Plan
talk
on,
about
they were
sports.
terrified that it was going to be all sports talk.
Yeah, they don't know how to. They don't know sports. They're from fucking they're from Montreal. They don't.
Yeah.
They're like the hockey is it.
Yeah.
That's it. We did a little tour in Australia with those guys. I fucking love those guys. Not sports guys. Boston boys though, dude. Like you know, hey man. Greg's got like a full. He's got the red. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
tattoo. Yeah, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. How would Liam answer this question? Fuck off. You know what I mean? He'd just be like, eh.
He
What's
would
the
name
biggest
three
hit, mate?
probably like not great songs that he wrote himself, and you're like, oh yeah, those are your favorites. Weird.
Dude, I was watching this YouTube. I just watching old school Oasis vids. Like this is like the era of the rock star is dead. It's fucking over. It's algorithmic based. There's no new rock and roll stars, and it's like, dude, you got to go back in time to find them. And like what better time than '90s when people were just bleeding money on records. Like, oh, it's just the best, dude. And he's just announcing songs before, and he's out there like. And he turns to Noel. I forget what song it was. And he's like, what fucking song was it? Anyway, he turns to Noel and he's like, the crowd's jumping up and down at the intro. And he's like, I'm not going to try to do a British accent because I'll suck. But he turns to Noel and he's like, how about you write a couple more of these, mate?
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen it?
I know the exact
What song was that?
talking about.
Yes.
I think they were playing, it was on, I think the 2005.
Supersonic, dude. It's Supersonic.
Supersonic. And he's like,
Supersonic.
how about a couple more of
How
these?
about a
not the
couple
ones you've
more
been
of these,
writing?
dude? And then he steps the arms go behind, the neck goes way high, bro. And it's just, you know what I mean? And you're just
Yeah.
like, this is the best band of all time.
Yeah.
The best band of all time. All right. So the question is 3 songs that define,
That sum up everything you've ever wanted to say.
Fuck. Such a different question than what are your 3 favorite songs you've ever written, or what are your 3 favorite Boys Like Girls songs? Sum up everything you ever wanted to say, dude.
As much as you can in 3 songs. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna go new record, right? I'm just gonna go Sunday at Fox. We've got to promote something. They know the old fucking records, right? They know the hits.
We know.
Yeah, buy a ticket. You'll hear them. You'll hear them twice, dude. We'll play The Great Escape 3 times for you, but I'm not gonna put that on this fucking list. All right, so Sunday at Foxwoods only. Let's go. Let's go. Story of a Lifetime. About kind of semi quarter life crisis, midlife crisis. Rode my bicycle across the United States, 4,500 miles. Story of a Lifetime kind of chronicles the Eastern Montana portion, but also talks about a little bit of like a mental break. Like, am I going to make it through this? I think that sort of summarizes a lot in my life, whether it be quitting drugs, getting sober, kind of being a little bit different in regards to how I approach life than other musicians. Anyway, so I would say that Lost in Wonderland on that record is like super, super specific to traveling circus. It's, I lifestyle of a touring guy, I think it depicts coming of age in a van pretty well. And, Miracle. No, should it be Miracle? Look at this track list. Everything I wanted to say. God, I wish I could be as eloquent. I wish I could be as cocky as Liam and as eloquent as Noel in those fucking interviews. You know what I mean? Because it's just like Liam.
That's a deadly combo right there. Yeah.
When I watch Liam, I'm like, I'll never have that bravado. And like, because it's like partially the British, like if I had that accent, I feel like it'd be able to be way more of a dick.
The accent.
The other day I rewatched it. Like I was at When We Were Young doing this interview, and like it came up on TikTok, right? And it was like cut, like, and all I said was, I hate this fucking question, and I was being facetious, right? But they cut it in with like all the other artists answering the question really nicely. Yeah. And I'm wearing sunglasses, and I'm like, I hate this fucking question. And my first thought. My first in like comments, Martin Johnson's insufferable. And my literal first thought was like, if I had said that in the Liam accent, everyone would have been like godlike. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But
biblical.
You go, biblical, mate. Let's go with let's go with New Love on this record, because it's about my wife, and knowing I was going to marry her pretty much after our first date. I think I wrote it like in between our first and second date.
Wow.
And I was in the studio making. I knew it was a Boys Like Girls song, and I was in the studio making Night Game, Dog Years record, and my friend Ryland, who used to play in Cobra Starship, emo band, was in I guess kind of more of like a synth pop
techno band, emo band,
like, like sort of cloaked as emo. He's in the other room, and I can hear him making this beat. Sounds like a weird mid-90s like country shuffle. I was like, Brandon, hold on, I gotta go in there and see what the fuck he's doing. This beat's hot. And so I walk in there, and I was like, I literally like. I just been on the first date with Naomi, and I walk in. I was like, "Put me on the mic, dude. Like, I got to run something down on this." And I wrote like the first verse and first chorus of New Love, and I was like, "All right, dude, we'll finish that in a sec." And I went back in to like work on, and it just sat on my hard drive until we made this record. But I do know, like looking back at how I felt at that time, I guess that's the woman that you pick for the rest of your life feels like maybe something it's
important.
Like, sum up everything you ever wanted to say. I guess it's part of your legacy, so
absolutely. That's beautiful.
Part of your legacy. So I guess that's the three. Miracle is kind of like, sorry, I'm a drug addict, which is kind of lit. Definitely part of my story. But been been a really, really long time since then I had a nice fat Hollywood rail to celebrate anything.
Yeah.
14 been 14 years since I've had a good gagger. So
Well, congratulations on
oh,
that.
thanks, man. Thanks, man. It's trying to make you laugh. But if I could do 4, maybe I'd add Miracle into the mix.
Yeah, those are great picks. I feel like
Cheers,
people
bud.
are going to leave this interview wondering what's on your hard drive now that we're going to hear in a few years. It's going to be like, oh shit, that was sitting on his hard drive during that interview.
Flaming Diesel, dude. Just sitting there waiting to be exposed, dude. Just waiting. Yeah. Dude, there's too much. It's honestly like we got it. We also, Boys and Girls has to put it. We got to put out a B-sides record. There was this record that there was just like like 2008 before we did put out the Love Drunk record, like these garage band demos that like we recorded every song off our first record on GarageBand, just like in a practice space in Haverhill, Mass, right?
Yeah.
And some shitty mic and built-in mic, like one SM57 on the drums, and some Filipino YouTube kind of thing comes out in a playlist, and it's like Boys Like Girls Heavy Heart EP, and like everybody thinks that it's like the leaked next record, and it's like just these like songs that didn't make the record, you know what I mean? And everybody thinks it's Love Drunk. They're like before Love Drunk, and so there's 50 others. Wow. You know what I mean? That didn't get leaked on the random Filipino YouTube like playlist. So I don't know, dude. I don't know what they're doing up there in the Philippines, but they're the best fans in the US. The best fans in the world. The Filipinos, actually, I can tell when there's a Filipino fan in the crowd, dude. The other day there were
the energy's up.
Dude, they're the best fans.
Yeah.
It's either Brazil, it's like South America, or it's the Philippines, like Southeast Asia. So probably Philippines wins.
Philippines, Brazil.
How'd they find that fucking thing?
Yeah.
It's like Jersey, maybe. Jersey, if you're playing Six Flags and it's 09, Coliseum, dude, you bought roller coaster tickets, you're stoked, you ate 7 things of cotton candy, you're 16, it's summer, right? So you got to go with your homies, you got dropped off. So you're solo mission, you don't got no parents, but you're 16 and you're like ripped.
Jackson, New Jersey. Yeah.
You're ripped on Dippin' Dots. You're there, bro. You're in. And it's like, looks like an arena, but it's not.
Yeah. I think All Time Low's banned from there. I'm pretty sure.
I think they got banned from Six Flags on our Six Flags tour in early 2010. I remember when they got bagged. I remember they got bagged from Six Flags. I don't know what the fuck they did, but I remember
the crowd rushed the stage, and then the security started pepper spraying the crowd, and they started yelling at the security. I think it was that they were trying to defend their fans.
We played that show.
Yeah,
we played that show.
Yeah,
we played that show, and I remember the next day. No, it was the next Six Flags show. The Six Flags shows were you got to ride coasters and cut the line. The shows were huge, right? They were so big. You were like, we're the biggest band in the world, right?
Yeah.
People were so stoked because they kind of like got to do a whole day at the amusement park and also got like a free show, even though the two kind of do this. I remember being great. I loved playing Six Flags. It's the best. We did like 3 years in a row. We like played in some capacity. But I remember the next one, it might have been Houston, Six Flags over Dallas. Maybe that's kind of like a little closer to, I think it was the Houston one. Anyway, we're not allowed to talk about All Time Low on stage because they're like, don't inside or right. We're not allowed to talk about All Time Low. There's a video of me on YouTube. Like I was like, but if I play a little bit, like Weightless was hot at that moment, that their song. I was like, if I play a little bit of Weightless and like go into Thunder, they're not going to know, so the crowd goes bananas singing Weightless is like, you know what I mean? I think there was a couple Six Flags shows that we ended up doing that gig at. It was fun. It was fun, dude. I was stoked. We got to play the big All Time Low homecoming on their 20, like they're like celebrating 20 years.
Looked
like
so awesome. I wanted to be there.
Merriweather show.
Yeah,
it was cool. We were really, really, I mean, we've been playing shows with them for 20 years. We've been 5 tours with them. It was just like, it was cool to be a part of their like this is the hometown show. I hope we get
Yeah.
the same experience like in Boston. Obviously, this year was our 22. We didn't do a big, we were formed in 04. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll do it in 26 as like celebrating the 20 year of our first record, instead. Yeah. That feels right.
Yeah.
That feels right. That feels right. I'm getting a little sick of like full album play tours. We might have to play 2 fucking albums in order to make it feel relevant, or 3 or 4. But we'll get through it. But I was stoked to be a part of that thing and do that with the boys. It was fun. It was fun.
Well, I was stoked to do this interview today.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate the time. Yeah.
Epic chatting. How many people, and then we'll let each other go. How many people actually ask you if you're physically in your mom's basement?
Oh, a decent amount. Yeah. I'm not, but a decent amount do ask.
Not the basement.
No, not the basement. Unfortunately, yeah. I moved out right after high school because I got the Barstool gig right after high school. Yeah.
Congrats, dude. That's the gig. That's the gig. My Instagram feed is just fucking pizza reviews.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the vibe, bro. That's the vibe. It's a sick gig. Well, we'll slap high fives in person soon, maybe in Vegas, maybe in Jersey, maybe somewhere else, dude. Till then.
I'll keep an eye out for Boys Like Girls tour dates next year.
It's been an honor, a pleasure, and a privilege. Thanks for having me on. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, dude.
Later, bud.